Hi guys, we're back in the garden today. Today we are pruning some tomatoes. Why do we want to prune the tomatoes? I don't know. I'm just kidding. Okay, so I've kind of already touched up on these because I have tomatoes in different places. I have 5 tomatoes here. I have 12 tomatoes over there by the garlic, and I have 48 tomatoes on that row. So we're good, right? Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to come in and you need to know if you have a determinate or an indeterminate because they're going to be pruned differently. A determinate, you typically don't prune very much because they're going to be one size. Once they hit that size, they're going to put on all their fruit, ripen their fruit, and they are done. They're kind of a one and done type plant. But a indeterminate, which is what 4 of these 5 are, one of them is a determinate. Indeterminate is going to keep growing. So those are the ones that we want to prune. We want to make sure that we trellis up. This year, I did my whole new trellis work, and actually I like the one over in my other garden better. I'll have to show that to you. But we're going to work over here first. So we're going to come in and we're going to see that this is a Roma. A Roma is a determinate tomato, so we're going to kind of leave him alone. He does have suckers, but so we could pinch these suckers off, but really you don't want to do too much pruning. You do want to determine what is your main stem because that's going to help you determine your suckers. So what is a sucker? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's move on to one that is an indeterminate so that we can be a little more thorough. We're going to move to the other set of tomatoes. Okay, these are my 12 tomatoes. We're going to work on them right now. I have lost one of them. We'll need to pull him out. So with a determinate, really the only things you really want to do is go ahead and if there are any yellowing leaves, these plants seem to be doing fairly well. We've got some bad leaves right here that we're going to come in and get rid of because those could be diseased leaves. These could be also maybe because they're low to the ground. We're just going to snip them off and make sure that we don't spread any disease. Hey, look at that. We got a small tomato coming in right here. There's a small one, there's a big one. I don't know if we want to leave it or not. I'll decide later. Okay. So we want to make sure to get rid of anything that looks speckledy. Now, this isn't speckledy. This just has speckles on it, like spots of stuff. So it's different. This one is a good leaf to try and go ahead and get rid of because not so much that it's been eaten on, but it also has some disease on it. We're just gonna snip that sucker off. And really, you want 6 to 8 inches, from the ground clear. It helps the tomato breathe. This is my tomato that we lost. So he got heavy and he just snapped. They say that you can take suckers and possibly even this one and plant them in the ground, and because they have all the root capabilities that they have, they would come back potentially, or you could start another tomato off of a sucker. I think I have enough tomatoes this year. I'm not even gonna attempt it. I have weeds too. It rained. And these weeds are crazy. Crazy annoying. I hate picking weeds, but there's something fun about pulling them out and making them leave. Okay, you don't want to watch me pull weeds. I'll be right back. Look, I have a ladybug in my garden. Those are good things to have in your garden. Okay, I went ahead and I pulled the tomato that died out. so that we don't have to worry about it should it start causing problems, you know. And there's no reason to keep feeding it when it's not there. So I left my pruners down here. I guess we'll work down here first. So, somebody dug up what my tomato was. So this is a classic beefsteak tomato here. So here is our sucker. Here's our main stem. Oops, there's our main stem. Here's our offshooting stem. And the one that's in the armpit is the sucker. So we're just gonna come in and snip that guy out. We're gonna look some more. I've heard them called armpit hairs. Oh, here's one down here that's really big. Woo! There's our main stem. Here's our side shoot, and there's a sucker. So we're not gonna cut our wire. Hold on. I didn't want to cut my string that was holding that up. So I had to put the phone down for a minute because I don't have it on a tripod right now. So I came in and I cut him off. Oh, we got a ladybug right there. Truthfully, the limb that ladybug is on should probably come off too. Try and get her to, oop, there you go. We're off on another. So those limbs were really close to the ground, and because of that, they're gonna collect moisture, and then moisture comes in and is bad on leaves. Here's another one that's really close to the ground. Leaves are bad, we're gonna cut it off. So I'm gonna go through here and I'm gonna look for the suckers. Oops. And I have a worm on my hand. We're gonna look for the suckers and any leaves that, like I said, are discolored, look like they have spots, anything like that. And we're going to clean them up. We're going to try and leave about 6 to 8 inches up the stem so that it has room to breathe, especially because I have these planted really close together. And that's what I'm going to be doing for tomatoes. Here's an interesting one that you could almost take as a sucker, but it is not a sucker. Here's a stem, an offshoot, an offshoot. This is an offshoot, and they're not related. The reason, though, that you do take the suckers off is because they can grow a whole new plant. That's why they say that you can actually plant them in the ground and start a new plant. So here's our main stem. That looks like an offshoot. It's an offshoot for sure. So, but here is a sucker right in the middle of the Y. We're gonna pinch that little dude off because he's small. Just like that. Now I am trying to train my tomatoes to wind around the string, to crawl up the string. But I'm also going to use my little ties there just to help give them the support that they need so that they don't break off, hopefully like that other one. And that other one actually had 3 on it. It's just, it was at a weird angle and the weight of it got to it. Okay guys, so the better of me got to me. This was a sucker off of a rainbow tomato, I believe. I'm gonna plant it in the ground where this trophy was. We're just gonna stick him in the ground. I left my shears over there, so I'm gonna take off that bottom limb. Stick him way down. Well, I'll water him in here in a few minutes. We're gonna see what happens. He may make it, he may not. We'll see. Okay, so I have come in, pulled all the suckers, cleaned up the 12 tomatoes, replanted a sucker just to see what happens. Look how much more room they have to breathe. That helps keep out disease and pests. And now we wait. We wait for hot days and tomatoes. The looks like it might rain today. Tomatoes do love the rainwater, so I won't complain too much. I do have some flowers starting. Now these tomatoes got off to a little bit of a rough start. And truthfully, it's very hard to tell right here what's tomatoes and what's weeds. We've got 46 tomatoes right here. I needed somewhere to go with them. My oldest and I were working on trying to get my paths mulched and my gardens weeded, and I had to get them in the ground. They're not doing the best, but I'm not giving up hope. We're better up here. Most people use conduit for their top bar. I had pipes left over from when we put in propane, so we used the propane. Well, we used T's up here at the top, as you can see, but the pipes were just a little bit too heavy, so we had to drop down a few pieces of PVC just to kind of stabilize it and make it a little sturdier. And then I used baling twine because I couldn't find my garden string, and the baler was right beside me when I was planting this. And so while it is exactly the same, T-post, a top bar, the T, PVC, and the string and the twine for the tomatoes to crawl up, it's a little bit different, as it's a little bit sturdier than my wire over on the other side. So it'll be interesting to see which one holds up better this year. And I am done, and it's starting to rain, so I think I'll go inside. Talk to you later. Bye.